The June 12th, 2015 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So the first thing we're going to start out with is Joanne's question. She has a, what is this? Joanne, would you like to show it to us?
Yeah, sure. Here we go. I don't know. This is what it looks like. I feel like I'm like one of those haulers on YouTube here. Can you guys see it? So, and then there's a front thing with an audio port, an on/off button, and that is like it. This is
an
like
MP3 player.
Yeah, but how do you charge it? There's
Well, you put it into the computer.
How do you put it?
It should be like a thing you stick it on, like a There's a gizmo you have to get to stick it on, like the little iPads have that. The little Apple ones. They're about little square. You have to get the little gadget.
Oh, I gotta get. Hang on, I gotta get my fish.
Time for fish.
On it. That's
Deborah, that's what we thought. We thought it was for music too.
Yeah, okay, good.
It doesn't seem like it has enough ports. You know, if you have an MP3 player, you've got a thing to put in for the earphones, and then you've also got another port that you can charge it or connect it to a speaker or whatever.
Well, it's missing a piece. The piece that goes into the earphone also sits on the charger. I'll show you. I'll get my iPad one. I'm going into my other office to see if I can find it.
Okay. Mystery solved. That's awesome.
Because nobody listens to them anymore with the phones and all that stuff. I don't even know where it is, to tell you the truth.
Uh-oh.
But I buy them at yard sales all the time. Oh, here it is. All right, let me sit down here and here. Can you see the? I'm taking the rubber band off now. Hold on.
Whole bunch of stuff that you've got.
Oh yeah. See the here's the gizmo. See, that goes into the. Hold on. See this? This piece.
Hold it up just a little bit higher.
See that piece there at the end?
Oh, okay.
And then you have the piece at the bottom. There's the charging thing.
Okay, okay.
And then you just take the gizmo, which is this,
And
you
put it in.
on the thing. See the hole?
Got it.
Oh yeah.
Hole in. So it sits on that.
That's a shuffle, right?
Yeah. And then you plug this into your computer.
And it charges and
charges it up.
That's how you get all your music on there and all that fun stuff.
Yep. That's it. Ta-da!
Okay.
I win.
We'll have to have Joanne. We found out.
Oh, she left.
I know.
There she left.
Show Joanne what she's missing. Oh, what do we have, Joanne?
Yeah, sure. French fries. Oh, I'm gonna get hungry.
Oh, fish and chips. Joanne has fish and chips. Oh, you're muted. Let me unmute you. I can't. You have to unmute you. There we go.
Okay, so what is it?
It's missing a piece.
Okay, what's it missing?
I'm going to show again. I'll have to put my.
Can you mail me one?
Here's the gizmo. See that?
Oh.
And that fits on. Here's the thing with the hole in it.
Oh. Crap! So we can't figure it out what's in here. Okay.
Probably music.
But you can probably get one of these. It'll probably work from an iPad thing. See how that's a shuffle. And
yeah, I have an
iPad.
My iPad does not have a connector like this. That's the thing, is that the only thing this has to connect it is just the little audio port. Because I have an iPad.
Are you going to New Orleans?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm going to QB Connect. But
I wish I could. I can't go to everything. I mean, I wish I could
Yeah.
go to XeroCon and.
I think I'll.
Well, we had Justin James to tell us what happened with XeroCon today. What a nice segue. Thank you, Deb.
You're welcome.
And Justin can tell us about Apple and Xero a little bit, too. Maybe a tease?
Absolutely. Sure thing. So thank you, and it's good to see you all again. And thank you for inviting me, Yvette and Gina. I'm happy to be on the call today. As you all know, last week was XeroCon 2015 in Denver, and we had a great time. It was a 3-day conference. It started on Tuesday with the pre-con and went through Thursday night, where we ended with a really big party outside that ended with a bunch of zeros, is what we call ourselves, and accountants dancing in a rainstorm.
Yeah.
Accountants dance? That would have been something.
Wow, it's pretty amazing. Accountants are usually not that daring.
And it's pretty funny. I talked to a lot of my partners that actually planned to leave before that event just for that very reason. They said, "Oh, accountants don't party, so we're gonna go home." And they saw some of the pictures, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, I would have stayed if I'd known." You know, I got a comment from somebody that told me, you know, the last party we went to was at Sleater, and there was like a hypnotist, and so we didn't want to do that again.
Oh, I was on that stage for that.
So were you hypnotized?
No, it's all fake.
Oh, okay.
We played along like we were. I'm talking to Liz Fleming next to me. She goes, "Are you hypnotized?" I'm not hypnotized.
Just do what he says. Just do what he says.
All those things you see are fake. Well, for that one anyway.
Sure, absolutely. So kind of an overview. XeroCon, we had a goal of 500 attendees. We exceeded that. We had close to 600 attendees, so 592 registered guests came out. Some of those were our add-on partners, but that did not include the Xero employees. There were about 80 of us that made the trip that were, you know, either based in Denver or came from San Francisco. But I mean, really great conference. We had a lot of good speakers. A lot of our Xero champions and early adopters that have embraced Xero were there and spoke, and you know, folks like Steve Chaney and Bruce Phillips, Sleater, Doug himself and his wife were there. You know, you had Christina Garza of Accounting Pros over in Denver. She also works out of Phoenix as well. All partners who have kind of embraced Xero in our earlier years, meaning year 1 or 2. Now that we're in year 3 here in the United States, and they were a part of the conference as well. So we started off the first day with, it was called Dev Day. So really a day for software developers to come out and learn how to be a part of the Xero add-on marketplace. As you know, we really tout our marketplace because we believe it's one of our biggest differentiators from our competitor, is the fact that we have about 400 add-on partners that we work with that integrate into Xero through our open API to create not just a general ledger platform, but really an entire platform for small businesses so that they can run their businesses more efficiently. So that was the main focus of day one. We also opened that up for partners that were looking for more education. So partners that were looking to go to Xero Accelerate or become certified in Xero could come a day early to accomplish those tasks. Certification, as you guys may know, is just more in-depth training on Xero where you're certified and then can use the Xero logos on your web page. You get listed in our partner directory, and that way you can begin getting small business leads from Xero.
I thought that to be in the partner directory, you had to have 5 people on Xero too.
You do, absolutely, and you hit the nail on the head with that. So the first prerequisite is being certified and keeping that certification up, and then becoming a bronze partner, which you are absolutely right, is 5 clients on Xero.
Okay.
Then we also had the Xero Accelerate. That was the first day as well. So Xero Accelerate is taught by accountants that have transformed their practice to Xero, where they kind of go through everything from A to Z on what they did to transform their practice, and it goes through everything from business planning to value-based billing, and even some topics like how to hire the right staff to run a Xero practice. But kind of moving on into the conference, we had day 1 and day 2, a stage full of great speakers. I'm going to do a screen share here. Let's see if this works.
Oh, cool.
All right. Entire screen. Share. All right. Oops. Can everybody see my screen now?
Yes.
Sure can.
All right. So these are some of the speakers that we had. Bruce, Stephen Dubner. Has anybody read any of his Freakonomics books?
I think I have them on my bookshelf. Does that
Nice.
count?
You're doing better than everybody else. How about that?
Okay.
Jason Bloomer, he's a partner of ours, and he runs Thrival as well. Steve Cheney, who's actually a platinum partner with Xero, meaning he has over 500 clients on Xero. He works on faith-based organizations like churches, as well as colleges and universities. Greg Kite, he's our master of ceremonies. He's a funny guy. Christina
CPA and comedian just don't seem like they go together.
Right.
He's pretty.
You would think we saw a lot of things that I thought wouldn't go together at XeroCon. It was a fun conference. We had a great time. So these are just a few more of the, some of the internal people. Jamie, who has been our U.S. president for 3 years and now is over products and solutions. Amy Vetter, who some of you all may know from coming over from other accounting platforms.
Yeah.
Andy Lark, our CMO. And a gang of other great speakers that we had over the course of the conference. So I'm going to go here. We had a update internally, so I'm going to share a few of these slides, not all of them, because these are internal slides, but there are some that I wanted to share with you guys. This is just a couple of pictures, and really, I mean, you can see the smiles on everybody's faces. We had a great time. If you see in the upper left-hand corner, that was it's in our exhibitors hall where we had some of the, we had an SMB night for small businesses. We also had, exhibitions and demonstrations going on all day. And you'll see, what you see there is our live Twitter feed, right? So we're into social media and technology.
I'm just seeing Justin's face. I'm not seeing anything else. Is any?
It may be your connection, Deb. You may have,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we are seeing him, but sometimes if you're, if you get, I don't know, low power or something to your Wi-Fi, it'll do that.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no problem.
Same
No
thing.
problem.
Oh, I see pictures now.
Oh, nice. All right. So there in the middle, you'll see our U.S. President, Russ Fujioka. They're at the oxygen bar, where we had oxygen inhalers. As you all know, in Denver, it's the altitude makes the air very thin. So we had those oxygen bars. You see our CEO down in the bottom two left pictures, with number 1, Accelerate, who's a New Zealand add-on partner, and then Christina Garza, who is one of our bookkeeping partners. I'm going to scroll down to slide number 9. And really, this was a big theme of the conference, in that Xero has been, and what people have looked at Xero as is the blue version of Xero. For those of you that are using Xero, you know the difference between the blue version and the green version for accountants. But the blue version, which was always kind of dubbed as our core product, is what people usually refer to when they talk about Xero. But we've kind of come full circle in these first 3 years here in the United States, because we have a fully functioning practice studio now, which it has work papers as well as a practice management software. We have a full platform enhanced by add-on partners, right? So the 400 add-on partners that I talked about a little bit earlier on the call, and then we really have the tools to help our partners turn themselves into the modern practice, right? So those were a lot of themes that were kind of going on throughout the conference. So features. We had a lot of feature releases. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the features we released in Xero, as well as some of the integrations that we announced and some of the partnerships we formed at XeroCon. Number one, the business performance dashboard. We've talked about this a lot. And what it is basically being able to report to our small businesses on many, many different things. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go over here, and I'm going to play this short video that talks about the dashboard a little bit. It was pretty fun because we announced it and had the ability to make it go live when we announced it. So it was like 11:30 in the morning, and we said, all right, it's live now. And,
wow, that's awesome.
Across the world.
Leaving you to piece together raw information from.
Can everybody hear that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Great.
Instead of leaving you to piece together raw information from your accounting system, Xero puts your data to work for you with the Business Performance Dashboard. Your financial data is transformed into beautifully displayed key performance indicators. These metrics give you a total view of your business in key areas you may not even been aware of. See what's working well and spot any concerns early on. You can discuss these metrics with your advisor right in the software. Advisors can use them to help their clients set goals and realize the full potential of their business. Every time you log into Xero, you'll see the main Xero dashboard for an overall view of your business. You can add additional key performance indicators to this display. View the entire range of metrics available by visiting the Business Performance page in Xero. Click the star for any metrics you want displayed back on the main Xero dashboard. Advisors can choose the metrics that are right for their clients, so they only need to see the ones relevant to them. To get into the details, just drill down. You'll see how the formula is calculated and how this area of the business has performed over time. We've made it easy to reach out to your advisor and start a conversation about a specific indicator right within Xero. They can help you better understand and use this information to set goals and track the performance of your business. If you are an advisor, review your client's business performance dashboard and offer your advice. Perhaps the metrics reveal potential to increase inventory turnover or improve the company's gross profit margin. Use these metrics to help your clients start setting goals today and work with them to achieve those results. The clearer a business is understood, the more informed decision-making can be. The Business Performance Dashboard in Xero enables small businesses and their advisors to better understand the financial data and work together to improve the success of the business.
All right, how about that new Business Performance Dashboard?
Nice, nice. I like the charts.
Yeah, it's really exciting. You know, we've been talking about it for months now, and it's finally live, so it's exciting. It's just, you know, again, one of the things that is possible now by, you know, the cloud, and, you know, it all starts with that automatic bank feed, so that, you know, the information inside of the software is up to date, so that we can give our small business owners a clearer picture of how the business is really doing. So they're no longer making decisions based on, you know, what's in that checking account, right? They're making decisions based on the financial stability and the health of the business. So other features we talked about, billable expenses, a big one, right? And as you may
wow, the beginning of job costing.
Exactly, it's coming, you know. So I always, you know, when a partner comes to me and asks me about job costing, you know, we always recommend an add-on, Workflow Max, which works well, but wouldn't it be nice to have it inside of the application? And so that is coming. That will be arriving at the beginning of Q4 of 2016. So we've got a few more months to wait for that. We talked a lot about Apple, right? And really, it's really exciting for us because now.
Boy, Rhonda was just here, and she has an Apple Watch. Darn.
Nice. We talked about how we've now really partnered with Apple, and it's really exciting for us because, as we know, you know, Apple is, if not the most, but one of the biggest and most recognized brands of today. And now, you know, you'll be able to, when people go into the Apple store to buy Apple products, and they talk about, you know, Apple for their business, Xero will be one of the companies, along with Vind and a few others, that Apple will be talking with about their partners.
Nice.
So we introduced Apple Watch support. It was pretty cool. They did a demo during the conference where they actually set up a company on an iPhone, right, in less than 5 minutes, and then started. It made a payment, right, and then showed that payment notification come through on the watch, right. So really powerful there, you know. And one of the examples there was, you know, for the small business owner that has the Apple Watch, I mean, we can give them notifications that can really help them out. Say they're waiting to see if a payment clears, so they can release payroll, right? Now instead of, you know, logging into their software or logging in to see if they've gotten that payment, that notification can come straight to their phone or straight to their Apple Watch, so that they know that they can then go and do payroll. Speaking of payroll, we announced payroll in Colorado, and we're really excited about it. What I would say about Xero payroll in general is that it's vanilla right now. And we are building it out. It's not available in all of your states just yet. And even when it comes to your states, there are still some things we're working through in the software. It's good for, you know, less than 10 employees. You know, complicated health and welfare calculations. You know, if we're not able to link a workers' comp or do certified payroll, things like that. But if it's, you know, salaried payroll or, you know, just 2 checks a month, I mean, it's good for that. And then we talked about practice reports as well, which is this an addition of on top of the new reports that we've just built out. We're building more reports out. Those are some of the features we talked about. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, back to payroll, Zen works really well, you were saying, in addition to the Xero payroll.
It works really, really well. And for those of you that don't know about the add-on marketplace, I'm going to Xero.com here. And if you go to More tab and the add-on marketplace, you can come here to search for all of those add-on partners that we work with. So if I type in payroll, it'll show us all of the payroll companies that we actually integrate with, the top 3 being Zen, Sure, and ADP. Let's go back here. I know we talked a little bit on the pre-call. Zen and these 3 other companies, the beauty of it is that you don't have to do any manual journal entries. So you run the payroll, and then that automatically comes in through the API. It hits the general ledger. So another thing we did at the conference is we gave out some awards, right? We gave out awards for some of our top accounting partners of the year, some of our add-on partners. You know, Harvest won the add-on partner of the year, and the emerging add-on partner of the year was Square. So that was exciting. And as you all know, you know, the little Square registers, those integrate with Xero as well. So those transactions will come into the software on a daily basis if your clients are using Square.
Nice.
Accounting partner of the year, Double Rule. They're in Southern California. And our bookkeeping partner of the year was Bookkeeper 360. So you can go online and check them out when you guys get a chance. All right, moving on. I wanted to go to slide number 16 and talk about some of the partnership updates. Now, this one is huge for bookkeepers. All right, forever and ever. Well, for our long, short 3 years, our bookkeeping partners have had to deal with doing sales tax manually, right? And as we all know, if our customer is selling things in one place, then it's not too difficult to keep up with. But when they do make sales in different counties and in different areas, that can be rather cumbersome, and has even been the reason why some of my partners have chosen not to use Xero. But now we've announced a partnership with Avalara, right? Which
Nice.
is a really easy way for Xero users to calculate their current sales tax rates. It updates automatically in the application, and we'll be seeing that rolling out next month. So we are super excited about that.
That's
That's
great.
very exciting, the Avalara piece.
Very, very exciting. Yes, absolutely. You know, I mean, it also does sales tax returns. So now
Oh, that's even more exciting.
exactly. You can do the returns like in 5 minutes inside of Xero, in as little as
Woo-hoo.
5 minutes, I should say. So that'll be live next month. Is that going to help you out, Yvette?
Multi-state sales tax,
Yeah,
or does it
that's
only
great.
work with one state?
Multi-state as well.
Oh, good.
Absolutely. Bill.com. All right. So anybody out there with customers on Bill.com?
Yes, I have put everybody on Bill.com.
There you
Yes.
go. Nice, nice. So right now we integrate with Bill.com. They're one of our add-on partners, but we announced a tighter integration. So we do it right now through a third party, but now it's going to be a direct integration so that Bill.com seamlessly syncs to provide paperless accounts payables. All right.
Great.
Oh, that's thrilling.
So the beta will be in July, and August you'll be going live with that?
Absolutely.
Nice.
All right. So any of those customers that are on Bill.com right now that you think might be a good fit for Xero, wait until August. All right. That's what I've been told. All right. And then MindBody, right? So anybody heard of MindBody out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a health spa thing, isn't it?
Exactly. It's a health and wellness marketplace. So we've developed a partnership with them, and we're going to be giving small businesses in that vertical everything they need to manage their business, from scheduling the classes to knowing their financial performance. All right. So no more data entry, less room for error, and same thing. June beta going live in August.
And what are you using for scheduling for them?
That's a great question. I believe, you know, I'm not going to give you a answer that I don't have. So I'll write down that question, and then I'll get that answer back out to you. I'll send it to Gina.
Okay, awesome. That's always a big question that I have. I deal a lot with service industries, and scheduling is a big need for them.
I think it will happen inside of the app, but I don't want to go out on a limb and you quote me on that and me be wrong. I want to be right. So I'll send an answer into the group. All right.
Justin, are you with Xero, or you work for a company that does Xero?
I'm with Xero. I'm an account
okay,
manager.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm an account manager for Xero. I'm actually Yvette's account manager. So thank you, Yvette, for inviting me on these calls.
You're welcome, Justin.
So you know, what I do is I work with our partners as far as kind of just taking them along the Xero journey, right? So I only work with accountants and bookkeepers. I don't work with our small business segment of the business, and I help our partners grow, right? So from I know nothing about Xero, I've never heard of it, all the way to helping you get certified in Xero, which Yvette is now certified.
Hey!
And then coming up with strategic solutions to help you grow the business, right? Connecting you with all of the resources at Xero, and I work with my partners to help them take advantage of all of the benefits that come along with partnering with Xero. So I'm not an accountant. We have a team of accountants at Xero in our product and platform team. They're a team of accountants that helps our accountants implement Xero. Answers questions on technical workflow questions. I do this with my customer in QuickBooks. How would this work in Xero? Which add-ons might I use for this vertical? But I'm more on the strategic side, helping our partners out.
So I have 25 people on QuickBooks Online. If I wanted to switch them all to Xero, can it do that?
Absolutely. So Xero has a converter, right? A QuickBooks converter. So the first thing we would need to do, and I can help you on this offline, but we would transfer those files into QBB or QBW or QBXML files, right? Which is a couple clicks of a button. You upload the file into Xero, and it translates the data in 3 hours. From there, everything comes over for the current calendar year and the previous calendar year, and then you're live and ready to go in Xero. So you can That's one way to do it. Some of my partners prefer not to do an import. They like to just keep the QuickBooks file as it is and start fresh in Xero with conversion balances. So I can help you with that, or I can help you and get you in contact with the right account manager to help you do so.
I have a question. This is Dennis.
Hi, Dennis. How's it going?
Good. Are you saying that if you want to do QBO, you have to put it back into QBW?
QBW, QBB.
The reason I'm asking is because sometimes the going from QBO to QBW becomes problematic at best. And
right. So I'm very familiar. You're not actually putting it back to QBW. You're just converting the file into a file type that Xero can read it. A Windows backup works as well, right? So you don't have to go all the way back to desktop. If you convert it into a Windows backup, and it can be done within a couple of clicks.
Okay, are you saying that what you get in QBO will transfer into Xero without any glitches?
Correct.
If you're using QBW as kind of the conduit?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you don't have the problems that you have with going from QBO back to QBW when people are unhappy with going to QBO and go back to the desktop?
Yeah, we actually did a big advertising campaign on that, because as you all know, a lot of partners move their customers away from desktop to QuickBooks Online and just weren't happy with the product for one reason or another. Their clients may or may not have been happy with the product, and we found that it's actually easier to go from QuickBooks Online to Xero than it is to go from QuickBooks Online back to desktop. So we did a big advertising campaign. You might have seen that popping up on your web pages or in your emails from time to time. It's kind of based on our advertising efforts, and the people we target are you guys, right? We target the QuickBooks Pro advisors. So if you didn't see that stuff, you might see that stuff.
So there's no adjustments you have to. I mean, like for example, with QBW to QBO, it seems like there's a lot of things you have to adjust to make sure that they match. So
particular things like inventory. You're right.
Yeah, and so I guess what I'm trying to get clear is that what's in QBO should transfer to Xero without having any intervention on my part to having to make adjustments because something didn't convert.
Well, there are a few things that you're going to want to do to the file before you convert it over. Things like making sure the account numbers are on. Things like disconnecting any kind of electronic services from the chart of accounts.
Okay.
You don't want to finish up any open reconciliation, things like that. But what we would do is set you up with a partner enablement specialist, right? So one of the accountants that are here at Xero that would help you through that process to make sure.
Someone to hold our hand in the sense from taking the QBO file to Xero.
Exactly, okay. Right.
Okay.
And there's like for instance, enterprise files. We don't have a converter. So what our partner enablement specialists do is manual conversions, right? So you would send them the file, you would upload it into a Box account, we would grab the file, and then over a day to 3 days, we would do the conversion on your behalf. So if there were problems with your QuickBooks Online conversions, so if for some reason it didn't work with as a Windows backup, we could just do a manual conversion for you.
Okay. Okay.
Is there a cost for the manual conversion for like an enterprise file?
There is. So for an enterprise file, if you need historical data, it's $100. That's the most we ever charge for conversions. But we try to work with you to make the conversions free. We know people don't want to pay when they're making a transition.
Like my own files in enterprise, I wouldn't mind converting my file to Xero, but if you could do it for free, I'd do it.
Right, we're working on it, and really, if you talk to your account manager, there's different things. I'll put it like this: we want your business, right? So, if that's a deal breaker, you can talk to your account manager, and they can usually work something out for you to make it fair, or kind of compensate you in a different way, or kind of, maybe there's other benefits that we can kind of get creative with to kind of offset those costs.
Because my only challenge with using Xero, it's not Xero. It's that I just know QuickBooks.
Sure. Yep.
So, and when when you take on a new customer, to take the time to not, it's a lot of time to just see their process and get everything down.
Sure.
And to add on top of that to learn how to do it in the new software. I know what QuickBooks Online can do. I
Sure.
don't know what Xero can do yet. That's my only challenge with switching to Xero.
That you and everybody else, that is the biggest challenge. I would say not in just, moving from QuickBooks to Xero, but, doing anything different in life, I mean, the biggest hump is, I've been doing it one way for so long. Is it worth it to invest the time to learn something new? In our eyes, we say yes, because we feel there are so many efficiencies that you get out of Xero, the partner program that's going to help your firm grow, as well as, some of the other things I mentioned on the call, the add-on marketplace, and we believe it is, data entry is going away, and Xero is going to be the next kind of the wave of the future. So, like I said, do you know who your account manager is?
No.
Okay. And where are you located?
Orlando, Port Orange, Florida, which is just south of Daytona Beach, an hour north of Orlando.
Okay. And what's your name?
Deborah Kilsheimer.
All right. What I'll do is Gina, after the call, will you send me Deborah's email address, and then I will email her?
You know what? Actually, right here in our Hangout, if you put your mouse over Deborah's thumbnail, there's a little drop down, and you will see her profile, and you can be connected that way too.
Got it. Okay, got it. Perfect.
That's
so
me,
Deborah,
right there. That's me.
nice.
It's
Perfect.
Deborah.
All right. So Deborah, what I'll do, I'm screen sharing.
Yes.
Perfect. So Deborah, what I'll do is I will email you and introduce you to your account manager.
Okay.
And that way you guys can have a discussion on Xero. Now,
Great.
what I would also recommend, in the first kind of step in getting to know Xero, is going through the certification. And that is done, you can do it self-paced, but we really recommend the webinars. It's two-hour webinars that you would do with our trainer. You can do them from the comfort of your home. It's done on a GoToMeeting. And that really brings you up to speed on kind of the functionality and the capabilities of Xero, some of the shortcuts, some of the bells and whistles. Yvette was just certified, and so she can speak to that a little bit. Did you learn a lot in the class, Yvette?
Yeah, I did, and I got learned things that I didn't know that Xero did, and I liked the class that the gentleman that was doing the webinar, he was very thorough, and he told us to do the exercises too that you go into Xero U, I guess it is, and I went in there a lot just to go and check, because what they really do test you on is about the applications in there, how to work Xero. Not so much on the bookkeeping or the accounting part, is just knowing Xero. And so those Xero U webinars, the little video clips also helped as well. But I
know I don't want to get into one better than another thing, but why would I want to use Xero? What's the advantage to using Xero than using QuickBooks Online? I mean, they're both cloud-based products, and I know that the Xero people say, "Oh, yeah, it's worth changing," but what would be a specific reason to change?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. So number one, right, in my eyes, is the add-on marketplace. Now, if you ask different people, they'll tell you there's different number ones. I think it's number one, right? Because with Xero, with all of the add-ons that we have, it becomes now the platform that a small business can use for any and everything, right? Everything connects to Xero, and that makes the software much more robust, right? Our competitor has been very, very limited in the companies that they work with as far as add-ons, and part of that is because it is a desktop software that was migrated to the cloud, and Xero is a software that was born in the cloud. All right, so that's my number one. Other people might tell you the ease of use, right? So the navigation of the website and the look and the feel of the website is much cleaner. less clicks to perform tasks. One specific example of that is you can work in multiple tabs at one time in Xero, right? So you can have 6 different tabs open that you're working in. So say you're working in the income statement and you see that something looks wrong. You can drill down into that income statement, right, to see those sales transactions in another tab. If you see an invoice that was coded incorrectly, you can update that in that tab, and then go back to your income statement, refresh the screen, and continue working. Furthermore, if you're working on one client in Xero and you get a call from another client, you can open up that client in another tab and still keep your place in the first client. So those are just some of the things that I've heard from my partners. And then when I talk about kind of intuitiveness and efficiencies that you're going to find in Xero, the bank rules function is much more robust than what you'll find in QuickBooks Online, so that just speeds up the reconciliation process. We even have a cache coding feature, and I think I'll show you the cache coding feature really quickly. We have a little bit of time.
Can I speak to? I converted from QuickBooks Enterprise to Xero, and I've also used QBO. I could probably speak to some of the differences I've found with QBO and Xero. One thing with Xero seems to be a lot more stable. Things seem to work better. I don't have the problems with logging in or that I do with QBO.
Downtime.
Yeah, the bank feeds seem to be better. It was much easier to connect my checking account to Xero than it was with QuickBooks Online. What strikes me is that, 20 years ago I was on a re-engineering project, and we had an expression called "don't pave the cow path," which basically is don't automate manual functions. And it strikes me as that Xero has more of a vision as to where they're going with the cloud, and QBO has kind of paved the cow path with migrating the desktop to the cloud. And I'm just kind of wondering if they're using their old, the system's like about 10 years old, and I was wondering, are they trying to just sort of rebuild the current system, or are they doing a new system? It would seem like they would have to be rebuilding the old system, because it'd be like trying to change your tire while the car's moving to set up a new system. But it just strikes me as that I've just had more success with Xero. It's just my personal preference.
Well, that's good to know. I like when I have real-world examples.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I won't take up all of our call with a demo, but I will show you this one feature, okay, our cache coding feature. Because I know we have a lot of bookkeepers on the line, and this is usually when I'm in a demo, one of the places where a bookkeeper says, "Oh my goodness, that would save me so much time," right? So let's say you have a new client, right, a write-up client, or even just a client that just hasn't done anything for the year. Obviously you can set up bank feeds for moving forward, but as far as historical data, you're going to want to upload those bank statements, right? So download in CSV format from online banking, upload into Xero up here in Manage Account, where you can import a bank statement. Then once you've got all of the statements inside of Xero, I know we can't do this in QuickBooks Online at this point, right? So you can come in, have all of the transactions for the year, you can sort by payee, and you can code in bulk. So no more, a customer goes to Starbucks every morning, so at the end of the year there's 200 Starbucks transactions that you're going and coding one by one. Now we can, like I said, sort by payee. So we got the Central City parking here. I can click the first one, hold Shift, and click the second one, and then I can code these in bulk, right? So
that's nice.
Yeah.
This will pull for, like, if I have a client that has a bank's credit card statement that must have 500 lines on it. 500 transactions. He doesn't. I don't have bank access. He sends me the statement. So I, scan it in, I manipulate it, and then I just put it into an Excel document, and then I kind of do the same thing within Excel.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use Transaction Pro Importer to whoosh it into QuickBooks.
Nice.
So this is kind of similar. I can upload like reads a bank statement or a credit card statement, or how does it get to this place right now, what we're looking at?
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. It's going to read your bank statement, a credit card statement, and be able to sort those transactions by the payee.
That's
So how does it? I mean, how does it read it? Does it like I have it on a piece of paper? So,
You can import it. You can save it as a CSV file and import it. You don't need a third-party like Transaction Pro importer to.
look at there, Deborah. He's doing it right there. Import a statement.
So if you got import a statement, so you're going to want to get these from the online banking. This is the very easiest way to do it.
Okay,
Now,
stop here. Let's see our file formats.
Right here. So you got OFX, QFX, QBO, QIF, CSV, and you can also download the template. So if there was, say you just have a PDF, right? And most people are going to be able to have access to a CSV bank statement. You can call the bank, they can send it, you can get it online. But let's just say you only have access to a PDF. You can use one of our add-ons. I'm not familiar with File Importer that you talked about, but you can use a program like HubDoc to read the actual PDF and then shoot it into Xero.
okay, so somehow I have to convert it to a CSV if I have a piece of paper in my hand.
The thing that's a little tricky is that the debits have to be minuses.
Correct.
Oh, okay, all expenses have to be minuses?
Yeah, the debits have to be minuses.
Okay, on a credit card?
I would presume so. I mean, I know on the checks, in the ACH, you have to, any charges account go in as a negative, as minuses for Xero to read it properly.
Okay. Well, that's a detail, but that's nice to know.
Sure, and there's so much to learn about Xero. I mean, I could, I start with my partners. You can ask Yvette. I mean, we started with, an hour-long demo that probably went 90 minutes, and we just scratched the surface, right? So you'll learn more inside of Xero certification. I highly recommend it for everybody on the call. And the reason I recommend it, even if you are not considering moving clients to Xero, right? Say you're, you've been using QuickBooks Online for a while. I mean, it sounds like you have 25 clients there. I mean, that's a big number of clients to migrate. I mean, that's 25 conversations about, I think this is better. They're going to ask you why. Why do we have to change? And if they don't like it, I mean, they're going to be thrilled.
Well, another difference is with Xero, it's a flat rate, whereas QBO is kind of like tiered, like 5 to 7 one rate, and in terms of users, and also the different plans, the different versions. Xero's just got a business, and they have like the multi-currency, right?
Correct. And then I'm going to go back to XeroCon, but I do want to just show this really quickly as well. This is number 3 for me, right? And I have about 10 that I talk to partners about the reasons why I think Xero is a better software and a better company than our incumbent. But it's the way we work with our partners, right? So right here, you're going to see the partner program up on your screen. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So once you become a partner with Xero, we become as involved in your success as you are. We give you discounts on the software so you can create a margin and another revenue stream for yourself. But really, it's about how we help you grow, right? So the listing on Xero.com, we're adding hundreds of small businesses every day, and we always encourage them to work with a Xero certified advisor, right? So we give our partners money, right? So $200 5 times a year to run client events. And for our gold partners, they get access to even our advertising fund. So we match your advertising budget dollar for dollar up to $5,000 as long as you mention Xero in your advertising, right? So that can be, promotional materials that you want to make. That can be subscriptions, or that can be trips to SleaderCon or any kind of accounting conferences you want to take your team to. I have one partner that's working on a billboard promoting themselves in Xero. I have another partner that's rebuilding their website with the marketing fund. So it's $5,000 free dollars every year. So we really do have a commitment to help our partners, and I think that's number 3 as to why.
We get a 1099 for that $5,000?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we also have some other benefits, like the folks that came to XeroCon, we are giving them level up rewards. So Katrina is going to be eligible to get up to $1,000 if she chooses to grow her firm in Xero just because she went to XeroCon. And that doesn't come with the 1099. That just comes in the form of a Visa gift card.
Nice. Katrina, are you with us? Katrina's muted.
Katrina
Okay.
says, I know all this stuff already. All right, let me get back on track here. Thank you for your questions. And like I said, Deborah, I am going to introduce you to your account manager so that you can start your Xero.
Yeah, speaking of account managers, James wants one for, let me see, San Diego area.
Perfect.
James, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, San Diego.
I sent you a text, Justin.
Okay.
Who
Perfect.
located, Justin?
I'm actually located in San Francisco. I live in the East Bay, and I work with partners in the East Bay. I've also started working with partners in Sacramento, and some partners kind of in the middle of the U.S. that are some of our smaller partners in some of those territories.
Okay, so you wouldn't be my guy.
In Orlando, unfortunately not.
Well, I'm just going to have to move.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what I like to hear.
Wow, Justin. Great.
Excuse me. You and Katrina are going to have to move.
Okay.
All right. So what you're looking at now is another one of the partnerships that we announced. We announced the Avalara, the Bill.com integration, the MindBody partnership, and now Apple, right? So we're optimizing all of our iOS applications to make sure that folks are having the best user experience on Apple devices. What we noticed is that over 67% of the customers who are using Xero on a mobile device are using it on the Apple. And so we're going to be crafting some best-in-class solutions from the Apple ecosystem that are designed specifically for small businesses. You'll see right here, I'm just reading off the slide now, tight integration with Apple's mobility partners to increase time to value and reduce friction. And small businesses seeking help can get connected to Apple stores. We talked about that a little bit earlier because Apple is going to be an authorized reseller of Xero and will also be having Xero service advisors. So that is actually going live this month.
Nice. And I
Well,
see
that's a
you're
real benefit
using
because
Apple too.
everybody loves Apple, so
Absolutely, absolutely. We're excited. All right. Oh, it's 3:24 here, so we're almost.
Yeah, we're just about out of time. Does anybody have any other questions they'd like to get answered while Justin's here?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I have a client that's going to be trying out Xero. What's an easy way for him to invite me when he goes into his software?
Absolutely. So I'll show you better than I can tell you. So if I'm in the application here.
Yeah, there's an invitation as an administrative.
Yeah, so I can get access to his books.
Yeah.
So he'll go to settings. They'll go to you. Oh, and also you can always get help in Xero right here. You can go to our help center that'll give you step-by-step instructions, videos, and screenshots. But if you go to settings and he goes to users here,
Okay.
all they will have to do is, this is a demo company so it doesn't have it, but what it would have is right here it would say add a user. They
Okay.
would click it and then enter in your email address. You would
Okay.
get an email saying this person has invited you in as an advisor, and then you would be able to access the file until they revoke access for you.
Okay.
Does Xero have it where the accountant user counts as one of their users, or like I know you can get two free accountant users with QBO. They
That's
have
what-
the same kind of thing with Xero. I mean, how many users can be hooked to Xero?
That's funny.
You know one thing, you have the staff. That's what I was going to ask you, to show her the staff, to invite someone in your staff.
All right, so right now I'm in Xero as a practice, right? So my screen is green. Okay.
No, it's green. You're looking at green Xero now.
And now what I want to show here is just I want the pricing to come up. All of our subscriptions have unlimited users.
Oh, that's nice.
So we never charge you for an additional user. So presumably if your firm had 50 people in it, all 50 people could be users. and be able to access the file if you wanted them to, right? Same thing at the client side as well. Say they have an office manager that needs access, somebody that does, POS or does invoicing that needs access. All those folks are going to have access to the accounts as well.
Can you limit their access, meaning they can only have access to AP or AR?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you sure can. Maybe you're the bookkeeper, and your client always messes things up. I mean, none of our clients ever do that, but just
No, none of them
did. You can give them read-only access, right? So your business owner can just have read-only access if that's what you want.
That's
These
good.
are our base subscriptions. We also have partner edition plans, right, that we don't advertise to small businesses. They would have to come through you to get this kind of pricing. But this is our cash book and our ledger. Cash books is basically for customers that don't require invoicing. It's fully functional Xero with bank feeds. It just doesn't have invoicing and bills. And then you have your ledger. So ledger's not going to work for you as a bookkeeper, but maybe for a tax firm that is not actually doing the books in Xero. They're still going to be able to use Xero to come up with their trial balances. They're going to be able to use Xero for files, storage.
Kind of like a write-up program.
Exactly.
Does the cash book have cash coding?
Yes, Cashbook does have cash coding. Absolutely.
So if you have a client that comes in at year end with a box of receipts, could you hook them up with one of these two plans to go back to the January 1st and bring in the whole year's worth of banking transactions and code them? And
you are picking up what I'm putting down.
hey, I'm smart.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is for those annual clients that some of you may see, where they come to you at the end of the year with the receipts. You're going to toss those receipts or put them in files, whatever you want to do. Bring in the bank statements, right? Bring in the bank statements. Teach your clients that they need to use their business credit card or their business checking account for other purchases. Don't use cash. It's going to make it harder to track. And then you're just going to be able to go through that cash coding process that I showed you earlier to bring that year all to date. And then we even can export out to many different tax softwares as well.
So what would you show me? This is okay. So if somebody, like I have a client that, every year to prepare his taxes, I have to go down, look at every single freaking thing that happened in his bank.
Sure.
And I thought, I dread him coming in every year.
Sure.
But I could basically hook him up with like cash book, and if I paid $12, it would bring in all the transactions for the whole year, and I'm done, other than coding them.
Absolutely. It would bring in all of the transactions for the entire year. Now, when you start Xero is when you would link the bank. That usually will only go back 3 months. So you would have to import the bank statements, right? So you're going to have your client just log into their online banking or give you their credentials. You'd log in for them. You'd download those 12 bank statements, and you'd upload them into Xero. I actually did it for a client, and it took me about 20 minutes to do the entire year, the download and the upload.
Wow.
But then keep them on a cash book, because then it's going to pull all those transactions on a day-to-day basis moving forward. Then you can just use cash coding. And now the other thing that you have inside of Xero is the files function, right? So throughout the year, your client is going to get things that they think that you need, right, to do a tax return. When they think that you usually need those documents, whether it's letters from the IRS, hopefully not, or invoices, or maybe it's a receipt from a fixed asset that they bought, right? So in Xero you have file storage right here. So this is what those cash book clients are doing, right? Especially tax folks, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have this email address right here and give it to their clients. Right? I know it's a long, funky address, but you save it in your contacts once and say, you copy this address in every time you send something to me, right? Because I know some of you probably have portals that you have for clients to send things to you, but they probably still just send them an email anyway, right? Here's this, here's that in the email. So any email that's sent to this email address, I know we're out of time, so I'll wrap this up. But any email that's sent to this email address, Xero is going to strip out any attachments that are in the email and keep them here in the files inbox, right? So all of those files that come to that email address are going to be saved there for you. So it's a nice, secure place for you to keep that client's files, right? So
If it's categorized by company, so I don't have every bank statement in one file for each I don't have 100 bank statements for different companies in one file.
oh no. Each individual client is going to have their own each individual login. So you'll have a files inbox for each of your clients.
Oh, okay, good.
Right? And then even from there, so now I've got all of these files here, right? So say it's been 2 years now. Say this 1040, this invoice, and this agreement last year, right? I can move these to a new folder. I can call this folder FY13 or whatever it is, and kind of get them out of the way, right?
Oh, good.
All right.
So is this kind of like a poor man's smart vault?
Absolutely.
What's the storage limit on each client?
I believe it's 10 gigs.
Per client?
Correct.
Wow, nice and beefy.
Yeah. No.
So that has a similar functionality like, say, Smart Vault, where you want to store client documents.
Exactly. SmartVault, Box.com, Dropbox.
Has the same security levels that they do, right?
Same, actually better. It's going to have 0 security level. So if I go up here right now and I look at my security tab, right, and how do I figure it? I'm going to find it. There it is. And I look at the connection, right, you'll see, where is it? Now I'm not going to be able to find it. Anyway, your banking is going to have 128-bit encryption. Xero is 256. So we're more secure than most of your standard banking online banking accounts.
Kind of like a portal for each client, then.
Exactly.
Okay.
If we had a client that they don't even know we're using Xero, can we just give them that address to send everything to?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, at some point, I would think that they would like to have access at some point too. You can send them an invitation into their account so that they can come in and add files from their desktop if they wanted to, if they didn't want to email them. And then the beauty of it, what typically happens, if you're looking to turn tax clients, like maybe you have, I had a partner I met with yesterday. He has 400 tax clients, and he has about 50 bookkeeping clients. He's trying to grow the bookkeeping business. He has separate tax ID numbers for the tax business because he may want to sell one or the other later in the future. But he has, out of those 50, he has 13 nonprofits that he kept on QuickBooks because he didn't want to use an add-on to do the job costing, right? Big money clients, $4,000, $5,000, $9,000 a month type of clients. So I said, no, we're going to leave them there, right? He has about 28 clients on Xero, right? But now what he's done is he's using Xero, the Xero ledgers, so it's $36 a year, right, for just the file storage, right? So what he does is he tells his clients, all right, I'm your tax guy. You're going to use this to send me all of your files. Here's your login to Xero, right? So when the client starts asking about Xero, that's his perfect opportunity to convert that client into a tax and bookkeeping client and upgrade their Xero subscription. So if that's something you're looking to do, it's a great way to introduce folks without shoving it down.
So Ledger gives you access to the file cabinet, so to speak?
Absolutely.
That's the $3 a month one?
$3 a month. You have fully functional Xero except for invoicing and bills, and no bank feeds with the Ledger. So you would have to import bank statements each time, but you still have cash coding. You still have reports. You can still run all your financials. You can still use Smart List. Everything else works.
That's sweet.
It's
So
cool.
I have this guy come in at the end of the year. He gives me 12 bank statements. I pay the $3. I upload them, and I'm done. Code them, and I'm done.
Code them, and you're done. Yep. You get to that trial balance, and you can export that out into Listserv or Drake. We're building Drake. You can already export into Listserv or CCH.
Not into Pro Series.
Not yet.
Oh, that's an Intuit product. Well, so is Lacert, and they integrate.
Yep. Yep.
Well, frankly,
Awesome.
most of these tax people, sometimes the tax guys, they don't even like technology. They just still code it. They hand type it in.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
That's funny.
I use ITO. Is there going to be? I mean, it would be nice if Xero had some sort of partner with a cloud-based system.
I don't see that happening, Dennis.
Really?
I don't think that's going to happen anytime in the near future.
Maybe Xero should come up with his own tax software.
So the funny thing about it is that's something that's on the radar, but has not. We're not in production here in the United States yet, because that tax is very different here than it is in New Zealand and Australia. But in New Zealand, I think in Australia too, but I know in New Zealand, Xero has a tax product as well.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
They'll get there.
We'll get there. We are in our infancy here, but I mean we had over 200 product releases this year. So while you're sleeping, the application is getting better, and you know, much more to come in the coming. It's like the product is so much better now than even the first time I did a demo with you guys back in, I believe it was February. You know, like we didn't even have find and recode at that time.
Yeah.
And now, and that's huge time saver. Now we can search for transactions based on any condition and recode them. You know, say you have somebody in the firm that always messes stuff up, you can find all the transactions they've coded and change them all at one time.
They have an audit trail. You can. Oh, I see audit report. Okay.
Yep.
So you can find those wayward people that, you know, I had a homeowners association, and the president would always go in and change things. So before I even started working every week, I just do a search for everything she did while I was gone and change it.
You had to fix it. Alrighty, well, we went over a little bit. Great show today. Thank you so much for joining us, Justin.
Thanks for having me. You guys are always great. I love getting on this group. So, you know, anytime you guys are willing to have me, I will join you guys. It's a great way to get into the weekend. You know, we really appreciate the time. I know you guys, everybody uses QuickBooks for something, and you know, we appreciate that. You know, we don't bash QuickBooks at all. We just feel like we want to provide an alternative, educate you, and so that, you know, when your clients do ask you about Xero, or your potential clients ask you about Xero, you're in a position to answer the questions and earn that business.
I haven't had anyone ask me about Xero. Hate to tell you.
It's coming. It's coming. It's a
Well, see, I want to be in the forefront. You know, like QuickBooks has been around so long, everybody knows that.
Right. Right.
That's why, Deborah, I put in I wrote something in the chat to you about, you know, getting Xero certified. You know, like I was saying, there's not as many as there are pro advisors as Xero certified advisors. You know, there's not that many Xero certified advisors, so it'd be good to get certified now. You know, you'd be one of the first people.
You're in a bigger market, right? The other thing is, Deborah, I don't think Xero has come east as much as it is on the west coast of the United States.
That could be, you know, Florida can't even doesn't even know how to vote in the presidential election. So.
But you know what you do, Deborah? You know what I've been trying to do now is, like, when I get a client that, you know, doesn't know what software they want, I'll say, you know, try Xero. Let's get you on Xero. And they'll say, okay, let's do it.
But to tell you the truth, you know, I was at Sleater last year in November. I had not one client on QuickBooks Online. So I just said, well, I think I better learn this stuff. So I converted my own business to QBO, and I thought, holy smokes, what have I been missing all this time? So I now have 25 active clients on QBO.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, gee, if I got excited about this, you know, 6 months
There's
from now, I
another
have 25 people on
clients.
Xero.
Yeah, and then, you know, you brought up a great point. You know, we are expanding out to the East Coast. You know, we started our office in San Francisco, and, you know, we wanted to make a presence here at home first. But we are expanding. Our #1 partner, ATAX. Everybody heard of ATAX before?
No.
Maybe not. So they're a tax franchise. They do bookkeeping and taxes, full service, for their clients. They're out of Florida, and they are our #1 partner, right? So they have over 500 companies on Xero.
It says
Harshman,
New York. It says Yonkers, New York.
that is just the franchise headquarters. Oh, that is the headquarters, oh, you know what? It must have been the franchisee that I met at XeroCon was out of Florida.
Okay.
Isn't Mike Block out of Florida?
Oh yeah, he hates QuickBooks. Oh,
Yep.
he hates QuickBooks.
Yep.
Jay's out of Florida too, right?
Yep. Jay's in Florida.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
Kimmelman?
what you'll find
Yep.
is once you get certified, like if you haven't had clients ask you about Xero yet, it's just a matter of time. And then what will increase that is being certified and listed on this site, because when a small business comes to Xero, this is where we send them. We say you gotta go and get linked up with a Xero certified partner, and then they'll come to this website. They'll be able to search by where you are, and be able to contact you.
Yvette, are you on there yet?
No, not yet. I'm getting there. I will be there. It's my goal by the end of summer to be up on there.
You just have to be certified and then be bronze. So bronze is 5 clients on Xero. Just because we want you to be comfortable with Xero, be working in it every day before we start to send you leads. Because if you're not comfortable with it and really using it on a daily basis, you might just put those clients on QuickBooks, maybe.
Frankly, that's what happens. I went through the certification, and I always learn stuff when I have a reason to learn stuff. To just learn something, it's like taking an Excel class. If I don't have a reason to use pivot tables, I forget.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
So I just need to put some people on it and then fake my way through it till I learn it.
Yep. I mean, no software is perfect. This is the last thing I'll say here. No software is perfect, right? I mean, but the reason why you're comfortable with QuickBooks is not because it's perfect, but because you understand how to make it do what you want it to do, right? You understand workarounds. You understand how to get the value out of the software. It takes a little while, but once you learn that in Xero, we're getting the echo now.
I know.
That's okay. Maybe that's my cue to stop talking. I'll talk about Xero all day and night. Figure it out.
Alrighty, we're going to end it here then. Thank you everybody for coming. We will see you next week. Next week we have Meredith Wood Fundera. So see you all then. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks. You guys have a great weekend too. Bye-bye.